Imagine Earth without visible air. The sky we have always perceived as blue disappears. The clouds that gave us shade and coolness dissolve. The atmosphere becomes transparent, almost invisible. Watch until the end to find out how a transparent atmosphere will affect our lives and climate forever. What will this change for us? How will our perception of the world change? At first, you will feel a strange silence. The wind no longer rustles in the leaves. The sound of your footsteps becomes sharp and strangely clear. People's voices sound clearer than ever. Have you ever wondered what the world would look like without air? Without the atmosphere, the blue colour of the sky will disappear. The sun will become dazzlingly bright, almost aggressive. Sunsets will become rare. Instead of soft pink clouds, we will see instant streaks of light, as if someone had brushed a canvas with a paintbrush. The stars would be visible during the day. The sun would no longer be scattered by the air, and daylight would turn into a blinding stream of energy. The blue colour of the sky is the Rayleigh scattering effect. Without the atmosphere, this effect disappears. Have you ever wondered what it would be like to see the stars in the middle of the day? Air is not only light, it is sound. Without it, our world would become unusually quiet. The noise of the city, music, the rustling of leaves. Everything would sound sharper, but at the same time sound would not travel as we are used to. Vacuum does not conduct sound, so when the density of air decreases, many sounds will become muffled or disappear altogether. Imagine that your favourite songs sound different. How would you react? The clouds disappear and rain becomes rare. Storms lose their usual shape, and lightning appears as bright lines without the softening effect of the atmosphere. Temperatures will fluctuate dramatically. Days will become unbearably hot, and nights will be incredibly cold, as the atmosphere no longer retains heat. Do you think our planet could withstand such temperature fluctuations? The transparent atmosphere affects photosynthesis. Plants receive full ultraviolet radiation, which either accelerates or damages their growth. Animals get used to unusual conditions. Birds and insects lose their usual landmarks because the air no longer scatters light and smells. Have you noticed how much animals depend on the air they are used to? We begin to feel every ray of ultraviolet light. Our skin burns faster and our eyes become tired. Without the sun's rays being scattered, the world becomes dazzlingly bright, which affects our vision and mental state. Even a short stay in such a transparent atmosphere increases the risk of burns and damage to the retina. It becomes more difficult to concentrate. Anxiety increases, and any movement under the sun becomes a challenge that requires caution and constant protection. Could you live in such a world without sunglasses? The oceans are warming faster, glaciers are melting at an accelerated rate. Wind circulation is disrupted, changing the usual monsoon routes and intensifying extreme hurricanes. Global weather systems are becoming chaotic, droughts are getting longer, storms are becoming more destructive, and temperature fluctuations are becoming more extreme. Increased atmospheric transparency is amplifying solar radiation, accelerating the greenhouse effect and disrupting the planet's climate balance. What if it happens tomorrow? How will you prepare? Watch until the end to find out what surprise the transparent atmosphere has in store for us, and why even small changes in its structure can alter the entire climate mechanism of the Earth. A transparent atmosphere is both beautiful and dangerous. You can see the planet as never before. Every curve of the terrain, the movements of ocean currents, the lines of mountain ranges, and even the faint glimmers of reflected light that are usually hidden by scattering. The horizon becomes more distant, colors become clearer, and shadows become sharper. But behind this beauty lie serious dangers. Increased transparency means that significantly more ultraviolet and harsh solar radiation reaches the surface, increasing the risk of burns, overheating, and vision problems. Extreme temperature fluctuations become the norm. During the day, the surface heats up rapidly, and at night it cools down just as quickly because the atmosphere retains almost no heat. Familiar cloud structures disappear, precipitation decreases, the climate changes, and familiar weather conditions become rare. Which of these effects do you find the strangest? A world without an atmosphere is pure fantasy, but the idea itself shows how fragile our lives and climate systems are. Even small changes in the composition of the air, a decrease in aerosols, a reduction in ozone concentration, or a weakening of light scattering, can change surface temperatures, disrupt air circulation, and affect ecosystems across the planet. A transparent atmosphere would mean stronger solar radiation, sharp temperature fluctuations, and the need to rethink city architecture, skin protection methods, and even food cultivation techniques. The final surprise: if the atmosphere becomes almost completely transparent, we will not only see the amazing beauty of the planet and the starry sky, but also discover new ways to adapt. Humanity will have to create smart coatings for buildings, wear high-tech protection, develop underground infrastructure, and use artificial clouds or aerosol filters to regulate the climate. Interesting fact: Mars has a much more transparent atmosphere than Earth, which is why its surface does not heat up as much as one might expect. The thin air hardly retains any heat, and the temperature drops sharply immediately after sunset. Do you think we are ready for such a future? We are on the verge of understanding how fragile our world is. The transparent atmosphere is not just a visual wonder, it is a mirror that shows us our vulnerability and strength at the same time. It reminds us that beauty and danger often go hand in hand, and our ability to see, protect, and adapt determines how we will survive in the future. Perhaps we will have to learn not only to protect ourselves from ultraviolet rays and extreme conditions, but also to see opportunities where before there were only risks. The world as we knew it may change, but humanity is capable of creating new rules of the game, if it wants to. And as we gaze at the transparent horizons, the question arises: what kind of world do we want to leave to those who come after us?